Well, folks, we are back here live at the 2013 World Ball Hockey Championships, St. John's, Newfoundland, Labrador, Canada. And we've reached the playoff round. Tonight, quarterfinal matchup between Team Canada and Team Switzerland. Joining me, as always, Trevor Murphy on color and our trusty, handy, dandy, hardest working cameraman in the Northern Hemisphere, Teddy O'Rourke. Trevor, welcome back, and here we see the Canadians breaking out the black unis for the first time, and looks like Delaney Bryan will be the starting tender.
Yeah, Canada looks ready to go tonight. They had a very good warm-up, Chris. They looked sharp, they looked crisp, they looked clean. So they need to do what they've been doing here throughout the weekend. They need to be coming out here strong tonight, set the tempo early. They do not want to allow the Swiss to hang around here all this evening. They want to set the tone early, get a couple of quick early goals, and make Switzerland chase them for the rest of the evening.
As Bryan and Bechtold, the two captains, will do the traditional exchange here. And the Swiss will drop off some pins. I thought there might be a line brawl there to start the game.
But Quebec Nordiques, Montreal Canadiens, playoff action there.
They just decided to drop off a few pins. They're neutral. They don't want to fight, those Swiss. All jokes aside, though, we're here for the playoff round. Team Canada, a perfect 3-0 in the round robin. The Swiss, 0-3.
But as we've talked about, Chris, that you got to be very careful here in the playoff round now, and funny things happen when playoff hockey commences. So Canada needs to remain sharp. They've looked good in each of their 3 games. They brought a little something different each night. So they need to bring that same energy, same commitment to loose balls, and be ready to go here right from the start. If you're Switzerland tonight, you got to be ready in your defensive zone. You've got to be ready for some neutral zone turnovers. And when you do turn that ball over, you've got to be ready to jump, pounce, and try and get some chances against the Team Canada netminder.
Absolutely, Trevor. Team Canada in the round robin, folks. 31 goals for, 0 against. Team Switzerland, 2 goals for, 11 against. Switzerland's Achilles heel in this tournament has been their goaltending. It has not been good to this point. They have a few decent forwards. You'll want to watch out for number 23, Marie-Eve Revy. She is a good player. Marilyn Yanchik, number 90. She plays both forward and D from time to time. Also, Mold Galdan is a good player, number 12. And 77, Karel Brutan. However, the Swiss have struggled, and let's see what they bring tonight. Starting up front for Team Canada, we've got Tulk, Kuz, and Perron, who's back with them, and I don't think Perron even played the game last night, Trev.
I'll tell you one thing, Chris, before we start, a real positive for Team Switzerland, a lot of high fives during the warm-up. A lot of high fives. Maybe the most high fives I've seen from one team in a warm-up.
And,
Team spirit strong
for now.
Team Switzerland.
For now. Delaney Bryan plays that behind the net here for Johnston. So Johnston and MacArthur start on the back end for Canada. That's shipped ahead, and Reevy is back to control that. One thing you will notice from Switzerland, one of the biggest teams here in this tournament. Tall, thick team. Speed may be an issue for them tonight.
That's one thing we did see, though, when Team Czech Republic played against Team Canada. They used their size. They played a very aggressive game and were able to hang in there for a while against Team Canada. So if Team Switzerland is going to be successful, they need to make sure they play aggressive, play the body, but stay out of the penalty box while doing that.
And here's Brittany Smith. She walks in, fires one off the outside of the net, and she's down there with Blomberg. Smith down there, Blomberg. And out here, Jenny Bryan and Fanny Desforges. Veteran line here for Team Canada. Out here for Bryan, the captain tonight. Back for Desforges, Fanny Desforges. In for Bryan. Bryan lose the handle, and that's knocked away there by Bechtold. And again, we talked about the physical play, something Canada didn't have to deal with last night, but you can see 9, Bechtold for the Swiss, a very, very big defender.
No, a different game altogether than what Canada experienced last night playing Greece. Greece was very laid back. They were not real aggressive. They played a very, relaxed defensive zone system or easy defensive zone system. So Canada right away in this game seeing pressure from Team Switzerland, and that will bode well for Switzerland if they continue to do this. Continue to be aggressive on the ball, continue to force Canada to make quick plays.
Absolutely. There's Psalm, and you'll watch for Psalm number 2 tonight. Scrappy player, always working hard. That's cleared out of trouble there by Brutin. Chipped ahead by the Swiss. And if we know anything about Swiss teams in any sport, Trevor, is that they will give their absolute best every time out.
Absolutely. And if I'm the Team Switzerland coach right now, I'm excited with the start of this game. You know, we're almost 3 minutes in. There hasn't been a real good scoring chance yet against us. We're playing well. We're keeping them to the outside. So a nice start for Switzerland. Now they have to build on that and keep this momentum going.
Absolutely. Here's Candace Moxley. Moxley drops for Sands. Madison Sands chips that one in. And again, the Swiss take that out. So the Swiss, hey, nothing to lose here tonight. Nobody's expecting you to do anything with this game. Might be time to shock the world if you're Team Switzerland. And like you said, off to a good start here.
Absolutely, but they're doing a nice job. Give them full marks. They're staying at the blue line, taking the balls away, using good stick and being aggressive on the ball carriers. So a real good start for Team Switzerland.
Absolutely. And here come the Canadians. Rudeman has the shot there. That's blocked in front by Johnston. Sands retreats. Amy Dawson, we expected to see her in the lineup, but I didn't catch the warm-up. I'm not sure if she's there. Chantel Larocque going away, and she makes big Apatelos right there on the way back, and that's knocked away by Aileen Blazer. And there is the aforementioned Amy Dawson, who had a great game number 1 for Canada. Game number 2 played well again. Sat out last night with an injury, but she's back. Here's Leslie MacArthur. MacArthur will send that deep and wide of Aileen Blazer. And the other thing about Blazer, all she has to do is have one good game, and her team's in the semifinals.
Absolutely. It's going to be a real test for her to stop that first good shot from Team Canada. If she can do that, she could vault her team into a real confidence booster. So we'll see how that first shot goes against her, see if she can make that first key save.
There's MacArthur coming in, and she's hit from behind, and again knocked away, sent out by Sabrina Noel. Longest we've seen Team Canada go without scoring off the start of a game, Trevor.
That's right. I know it. And we mentioned it earlier, and it's still very early in the game, but the longer Team Switzerland hangs on, the more dangerous it becomes. And we know the kind of firepower that Team Canada has. They can score a lot of goals quickly when given the opportunity. So they need to get the game going here, get their feet moving, find the open spots on the floor, put the ball there, and start making some things happen. So they've seen Team Switzerland come out. They're playing aggressive. Team Canada has to combat that by moving their feet, making some things happen, and as I mentioned, putting balls to the open parts of the floor.
And Trevor, a lot of Swiss flags here. A lot of Swiss support. Canada controls down low. But Switzerland, very aggressive. Man on man, they're not letting anybody move. Perron battles with Mold Gaudin. Nice reverse play there by Brittany Smith and Jessica O'Grady. Canada seem to be rolling 7D here now. Tolk scores, Don Tolk! And that's waved off for a crease violation down there. The faceoff will come outside. So a break for Switzerland, and that's what you need to win these games. You need breaks.
You're right, and you did mention about the man-to-man coverage Switzerland's using, and you can see when Canada's moving their feet, it makes that man-to-man coverage much more difficult because you have those switches that have to happen. If you hesitate at all, your player gets open, it means an open shot for Canada. And that's what happened right there. There was a switch that didn't take place. Team Canada moved to the front of the net quickly and did get a good scoring chance. Luckily for Team Switzerland, it's waved off. The faceout comes outside, and we'll stay at a 0-0 tie.
So it's Desforges, Blomberg, Desmere. Excuse me. Brine.
And you're going to see
Forrest,
that.
Blomberg, Bryan.
And you can see that the real test going to be tonight, I think. Team Switzerland can be aggressive like this, but we'll see as the game goes on how fatigue sets in. Which team is more well-conditioned? And you touched on it. They're a big, strong team, but are they as well-conditioned as Team Canada? That's something we'll see as this game continues.
Still down low. That's sent wide by Alicia Blomberg. Madison Sands in there, so Team Canada rolling all their D here early. Out front for Fanny Desforges. Fanny Desforges with a backhand. That's stopped. Desforges on the rebound. And that's knocked out of harm's way there with number 25, Emily Yacol. Here's Desforges. And that's knocked out of harm's way again by Cherig. Cherig sends that around here for Janchik. And Janchik gets it out of the zone. So a good job thus far by Switzerland. Janczyk shoots. That's off the glove of Bryan and Wyden. Janczyk can fire. She'll be the one they look for if they get a power play to set up at the top of the tee. Shelly Cockrell, who is now the tournament scoring leader after last night's game, almost had another break there. Bechtold, the captain, up against Sands, and her uses her size. Bechtold is in. Rats goes to the front of the net. Broken up by Danica Smith and sent out and down. And Brutin can't hold on to that. Cockrell in there helping out. Cockrell, Desmier, Moxley. Moxley shoots, and a big save by Blazer. Didn't even know she had it, and now there's going to be penalties. It's going to be Moxley and Brutin are going to go off. Coincidental minors, Trevor.
But there's those two key saves we talked about. Blazer making two good saves. That third one just then, she didn't exactly know where it was, but because of her positioning, she had the glove in the right place, was able to make a good save, keeping this game scoreless. Right now we have Team Switzerland trailing in the shots on goal department 4-1. But Blazer has been good so far. She's been able to keep herself up, take away the net, and forcing Team Canada to shoot for the corners. So good job so far, and as we keep saying, a good start for Switzerland. Exactly what you wanted if you're wearing that red and white tonight.
And something we haven't seen in this game yet, normally Team Canada controlling play down low. Switzerland, very active sticks, very good coverage, and if they can keep this up, they're going to keep Canada close. It's when, as you mentioned, the conditioning becomes a factor, that discipline in terms of a defensive system becomes a factor, is when Team Canada may be able to exploit Team Switzerland, but full marks plus for them right now, bonus marks, if you will, for Team Switzerland.
Right, and if you're Team Canada now, you know that you're being pressured. You had to be patient. You've been scoring a lot of goals in this tournament. You cannot be upset or frustrated you haven't scored yet. Be patient, continue to do the little things right, and those opportunities will come to you. So be patient, do the little things right, and good things will happen.
Absolutely, Trevor, and you're right. And with 6.5 minutes gone here in the first period, I'm sure Team Canada expected to have the lead. And maybe this is a good thing for Team Canada, where now they're going to have to say, you know what, guys, we're in a game here now. And we've got to get our heads screwed on, because should we get through this, the games are only going to get tougher. And now Kristen Koo's battling that. She has all tournament on the boards. But that comes away for Perron. Perron sends that in for Tulk. Tulk in there, but Blazer is all over that.
And Blazer needs to cover every one of those balls that are coming close to her. Those slow rollers. Don't try and play them to the corner. You want to have as many whistles as you can here tonight to slow Team Canada down. So exactly what we saw just then. If that ball's close, Blazer's going to jump on that, slow the game down, and make a face-off happen.
And again, as we discussed, as Danica Smith stops that clearing attempt in for Coos. But she's stopped by Mueller. Mueller battling hard with Coos. Great job by the Swiss early. Active sticks, getting in lanes, and not letting Canada set up. And again, away comes Stoffel. Stoffel, now that's where Stoffel needs to put it deep, Trevor. They need to keep that ball 200 feet away from their net as much as possible, and they can't turn balls over on the attacking blue line.
You want to stay out of the neutral zone tonight, because we've seen Canada be deadly when they're on the counter-attack. So if you're Switzerland, you're getting the red line. If there's nowhere to go with it and run, you get the ball in deep. Make Canada chase it, because you do not want turnovers around that red line area.
Danica Smith now, left side. That's kept in there. And Smith back on it again. And now we're seeing DeForge out there with Kane. And Bryan. And Bryan's away. Bryan, great wheels for Amanda Kane, who fans on the one-time opportunity. Kane with 2 goals, player of the game honors in last night's game. Brittany Smith pinching in. Brittany Smith all alone in front as they try and confuse the Swiss defenders. Fanny DeForge shoots. She misses. Smith is there. Now Smith is caught. She needs to get back. Bryan shoots, and Jenny Bryan opens the scoring. 6:55 remain. Jenny Bryan just walks on that one.
Jenny Bryan wearing the captaincy tonight, stepping up and hammering that ball home. That's exactly what you want from your leaders in a game like this. The game is tight. You need your leaders to step up, score those big goals, make the big plays. That's exactly what happens here on Team Canada's first goal. And that's the danger if you're Team Switzerland playing man-to-man. We've seen 3 or 4 lost assignments right there, opening up Jenny Bryan in the slot to hammer that ball home.
Well, Team Canada realized staying in their positions and moving the ball around wasn't going to work. they started moving the body around and moving the ball around. That's where the Swiss were confused. And back to retrieve is Johnston.
I'm sure they're hearing that on the bench right now. They need their defense to be active to get this team Swiss out of their comfort zone. That's what happened on the goal, and we saw benefits play off.
And here's Desmere. Alicia Desmere in, shoots. And she is robbed by Blazer. And that's loose. Blazer holds on. Moxley pokes it in. That's not going to count. And Alicia Desmere, Trevor, continues to be snake-bitten here at this 2013 World Ball Hockey Championship.
No, and Desmere continuing to get her chances, though. She's continuing to make things happen, and that's a good sign. We spoke about it last night. She's the kind of player that if she can get hot, she can be very dangerous because she has good size, she has good skill, and that's exactly the type of player you need in playoff hockey. So it'd be nice to see her get off the snide here, get that first goal, but she's continuing to still do things very well. But a goal would certainly be nice and help her out personally and for her confidence.
And as Candace Moxley told us last night, they've been trying really hard, and as any hockey player knows, when you're trying to help out someone on your line, it even puts more pressure on them. So I'm sure Desmere will get one eventually, and when she does, you'll see the reaction.
And we've seen her have the body language has been good for Desmere, except for one play last night. Her body language continues to be strong.
And here she is again. Desmere with Moxley and Cockrell back here. Johnston fires, and that hits Salm and goes out of play with 5:49 to play here in the first.
And there we see again, Canada's trying to get things going from the point, as we've seen all week long, but Switzerland comes out there and does a nice job of getting in the shooting lane, blocking that shot. Because they block it, the ball goes out of play, and there's a face-off. So we see them stepping up, taking away time and space from Team Canada, not allowing them to do the things they want to do.
And here's Chelsea Purcell. Haven't seen much of Purcell yet tonight. Purcell out there with Pouliot and Larocque. Here's Pouliot. Pouliot dropped for Chantel Larocque. That's poked away. Purcell shoots. And another great job, Marie-Eve Reevy. She spoke to us on day one of this tournament. Reevy, a professional hockey player in her own right. She's a very, very good player for this team, Switzerland. One of Teddy O'Rourke's favorites, our cameraman. Big fan of Marie-Eve Reevy. And she will be a leader for this team. And in order for Switzerland to have success tonight, they're going to have to ride Reevy as far as she'll take them.
And you got to ride your best players. That's an important piece of it. That if you have these players that are playing at a high level, you've got to take them and ride those big guns all the way.
Absolutely. Knocked down there in Switzerland. Again, on the attack, that's Anna Oliveira. Making it hard on the Canadians here. And we've got a hockey game, Trev. Here's Dawson. Dawson sends that in. And that's what I'm talking about from Blazer, as that should have been stopped, and she just fell down.
Yeah, there was a very slow reaction to that, and whether it took her by surprise or a momentary lack of focus, whatever it may have been, she was not ready for that play. And as you said, the good goalies we've seen in this tournament, they're stepping out, they're knocking that ball down, or at least more of a movement in the net, in the crease on shots like that. So if she wants to keep her team in this, she needs to stay focused and make sure that she is sharp on each and every shot, no matter what part of the floor it's coming from.
Absolutely. Well, we've seen them. We've seen the Adele Kings with the U.S. We've seen Besakova with the Czechs. We've seen Tomskova with the Slovaks. All very good goaltenders. And again, to win a tournament, to succeed in hockey, you need a good goalie. We talked earlier about going to coaches' conferences, getting coaching tips. The first coaching conference I ever went to was with the legendary Tom Watt, Stanley Cup winner, world champion, Olympic champion, Canada Cup champion. And Tom Watt says to me, "Do you know how you're a good coach?" He says, "You have to gag." I said, "What do you mean you have to gag?" He says, G-A-G-G. I said, "Tom, what are you talking about?" He says, "You go get a good goalie." And so a goalie can make you a great coach.
A good goalie can make a good team great. And we've seen that at all levels of hockey over the years. A good goalie can make things happen for your team because it gives you confidence as a player in front of that goalie. It allows you to do things you may not normally do. So if you have a good goalie, if that goalie gets hot, there's some great things can happen for a hockey team.
And the dangerous line out here again now. Day 4's Brian Blomberg. Interesting note about Fanny Desforges that not a lot of people know, Trevor. She won the Red Bull Crashed Ice downhill skating competition in Quebec. So that will also tell you a lot about Fanny Desforges. Actually, I believe the last one might have been held in Ottawa, but a lot of our listeners will be familiar with the competition. That's pretty amazing.
That's an amazing stat because that is a crazy sport.
Yeah.
And you've got to be highly skilled. You've got to be strong to do something like that. And probably not all there up on the stairs to do it, but good on her. That shows what kind of athlete she is to do something like that and be successful in it. So good on Fanny to be involved in, I guess, different sports and be successful at all levels.
And we were talking, and Blomberg scores off a pass from Desforges, 2-0 Canada. And just to finish my point about Fanny Desforges, we talked last night about how impressed we were by her, the way she carries herself, the way she handled the interview process, and when I did some more research on her to find that out, I mean, she's obviously a huge reason why she's wearing a letter for Team Canada here this week.
Oh, absolutely. And another leader stepping up right there, making a nice play. Desforges gets to that loose ball, makes the pass out front, and then Team Canada does a nice job of getting the ball away quick and scoring their second goal. So with 3:51 here, give themselves a little breathing room. But you got to make sure right now that you do not sit back on this. You've got to keep going at Team Switzerland. You've got to keep creating chances and making things happen.
So that's Blomberg from Desforges and Bryan. That's chipped in deep. Amanda Kane on there filling in for Moxley, who's sitting off in the penalty box with a coincidental minor. And as we're talking about Moxley and Desforges, any Team Canada fans that are out there, we encourage you to head over to Facebook. Join the newly created page of Moxley Crew and Fanny's Fannies. That is the official Team Canada Women's Fan Club. And those two ladies have been nice enough to join us in the booth, and we certainly like them. So therefore, we named the fan club after them. So that's Moxley Crew, CRUE, and Fanny's Fannies. And you can find that link through the tournament Facebook page, and you can also find it by searching on Facebook. An outlet pass here for Cockrell. Cockrell met by Reevy. Out here, Danica Smith's going to walk on that one. That's tipped wide. And Cockrell didn't even know she had a scoring opportunity. Amanda Kane earning her time after having a couple of goals and an assist last night. Player of the game honors. Away come Team Switzerland. Stoffel, she chips that in. Madison Sands. Speaking of players earning their ice time, Madison Sands comes up the floor. And now we have Larocque, Pouliot, and Purcell out there. Purcell battling down low. Sorry, that's Sands. Purcell covering for Sands out here. Sands down in front. She's not going to screen many goalies with her size, though, Trevor.
No, she's gotten better each and every game, Chris. And we mentioned it last night that just the way she makes that pass, that first pass, takes care of her own zone. And she made a great long outlet pass here a moment ago. And that's why Team Canada's in the zone right now. So she's continuing to step her game up and become a better player each and every game for Team Canada.
Absolutely. And Canada again on the cycle. This is more of what we expect out of Team Canada is the zone play, the cycle play. And cycling in ball hockey works even better than ice hockey because you can get the ball going around that dasher at a good pace. Here's MacArthur. MacArthur, as Larocque works hard to get back on side there. Pouliot calling for the one-timer. Here's the pass. She lets that fly. That's stopped by Apatelos on the way through there for Team Switzerland. And now Canada's starting to push the pace a bit. MacArthur sends that in. Shots 8-1 in favor of Team Canada. Scores 2-0 here with 1:38 to play in the first. That's just out of the reach of MacArthur. And Delaney Bryan tells her that there's no icing. MacArthur picks that up. She waits for her mates to get set up. Outlet pass here for Pouliot. Tulk is out there now. Tulk, Coos. They'll be joined shortly by Perron, Francesca Perron. In front for Tulk. Tulk with that behind the net. Don Tulk waits in for Kristen Coos. Coos out front. Francesca Perron now. Perron shoots, and another nice save by Blazer as Tulk tries to one-hand that one towards the net. 1 minute to play in the first period. Out here for Coos, who found some room at the high slot. Perron shoots. That's over the net. Coos is on that, and MacArthur's calling for it. MacArthur being watched closely by Janczyk. Coos into the front of the net. Tulk scores! What a shift. Kristen Coos, Francesca Perron, Don Tulk, and they're rewarded with another goal for that line. Again, with the hard work, grinding it out, Trevor. And this line has been a real treat for Team Canada.
Not a lot of size, but a lot of determination. Good work down low to bring that ball to the front of the net. And we've seen a few times here during this tournament, Don Tulk showing some great hands in front of the net. does not rush it, shows great patience, forehand to backhand, puts it past Blazer and the team in Switzerland goal. So good patience, sweet hands, and a great goal.
44 seconds remain here. And Trevor, you look at that line of Tulk, Perron, Coos, that really adds some depth for Team Canada. Because Desforges' line, obviously you know what you're getting out of them with Brian and Blomberg. The other line with Moxley and Desmere and Cockrell, you know what you're getting from them. And for that line to have that depth, it really, really is an added benefit for Team Canada.
No, it's that depth we've talked about, and good teams have depth. They have those pieces of the puzzle that make them successful. Team Canada certainly has that with all the lines they have going, and they're all ticking, which is certainly a big piece of it as well.
Absolutely. Well, we talked to Moxley last night, and she said to us, well, our lines played together in ice hockey, we played together in ball hockey, and you can see it. They're just comfortable. They know where they're going to be. The communication's there. Something as simple as knowing that person's voice, because you know when you're on the floor or the ice sometimes somebody will call for a pass when they're not on your team. You know that person's voice. You know where they are. And little things like that make such a big difference.
Having chemistry in a short-term event like this can pay dividends, and that's something we've seen from Team Canada. Their knowledge of each other, whether it be through ice hockey, going to university together, whatever it might be. Some of these girls certainly know each other over the years, and you can see that paying off for Team Canada.
And Purcell having a little laugh and a little couple of words there. Sorry, Dawson for her partner O'Grady, as O'Grady with no time on the clock walks on that one, and she hits Dawson, who's already injured. So O'Grady found it funny. Dawson, not so much.
A great shot block. The only problem was it was against her own team.
Absolutely. But so with that said, Trevor, we're going to take a quick break for the intermission. We've got a couple of things to look after here in the booth, and we'll be back with the call right after this. And we're back for the start of the second period here. Team Canada, Team Switzerland. And Trevor, what did you see during that intermission that you have to bring back to this broadcast?
Both teams, no one was panicking, which I think if you're Team Switzerland right now, you're pretty happy with your first period. And they seem to be strong. They seem to be confident going forward. But just taking the time to basically regroup. And with Team Canada, same thing. Their coach is going through some things on the board, showing them maybe a set play they want to try here, just some of the things to watch for. But we can see Team Canada getting much better as the first period went on. And as we talked about now for Team Switzerland, the key for them will be continue to play aggressive, but make sure they do not get too tired because of the aggressive play that they're using right now in the defensive zone.
Sure. Team Canada only leading in shots 10-1, so Switzerland keeping chances down, and that's got to be important. Blomberg here, and Brittany Smith reading that from all the way out at center, makes the dash. Moxley fires, and a great shot block by Janczyk, takes a knee in the head for her trouble. Dave Forge over here for Johnson. Johnson sends it deep for Alicia Desmier. Desmier ridden off there in the corner. And Chevalier is around for the ball, and she hammers it out to center. And a great job by the Swiss, bigger, stronger, getting that ball out, something that the Greeks had a lot of trouble with, Trevor, in terms of getting it up high on the boards.
That's right. You know, if it doesn't get down the ice, make sure it gets to at least the red line to force them to leave the zone and to come back in. If you're going to have turnovers in your own zone, you're going to be in real trouble. At least in the neutral zone, you get a little bit of time to react and regroup.
Moxley fires, Blazer makes the save, and Chirik takes that and fires it down the ice, which Delaney Bryan comes out to pick it up. Probably would have went for icing, so I don't know if she saw something there or if it was waved off, hit something, I don't know. And here's Larocque again with that lightning speed. Chantel Larocque in, and strength, look at that, holding her off with one arm. But here's Psalm. She's dangerous. Psalm just drops it off there for Bechtold. Purcell met with some resistance by Steiner. Purcell down low. Dawson keeps that in. That's going to be a glove pass.
And we're continuing to see Team Switzerland, when they get the ball on their stick in the defensive zone, if the pass is not there, they are very content just dumping the ball out. And I'm sure, at least for the next little while, they'll be content to take those icings, take the face off, and see what happens. But as we've seen over the last couple of games, that you can only do that so long before you have to start doing something to put some offensive pressure on Team Canada. Because dumping the ball down, yeah, it kills time, keeps you in the game, but staying in the game is not going to win you anything. So they had to find that balance here now of getting the ball out, but at the same time trying to make a play to get that first goal.
Kane out there now with Larocque and Purcell taking the place of Pouliot on this line. And that's sending deep. So Amanda Kane, while she wasn't in the top four lines to start the event, has found her way into at least a rotation triple. O'Grady sends that ahead for Larocque. With a little spinorama there, chips it deep. That may be going for icing. Back linesman didn't seem to notice, so we continue.
No, I think the back linesman was watching the change at the bench there and missed that dump in. The lead linesman, I think, was getting ready to call it, but back linesman didn't signal it.
Didn't have any
play
indication.
Continues.
Back to something we talked about the other day, and at this world level, 2 may not be enough. And was that Francesca Perron, I think, threw that on net, and Blazer that's kind of snuck through her arm, so that's gonna sting a bit. You know, you're the Swiss players, you're working really hard, you're doing everything the coach has asked, and to not get those saves, it's deflating as a player.
Those are tough goals to see go in. You know, you are working hard right now. As a Swiss team, you are staying in this game. You're doing a lot of little things right. You need your goalie to make that save, because now the confidence that you had going, the mojo you had going, isn't the same right now. So we'll see how this team Swiss can battle back here, but that was a tough blow right there against them.
Yes, certainly was. But they're showing some resolve. We're back down here in the Team Canada zone. So that'll be Perron from Tulk. So Tulk with her second point of the night. Sands niftily gets out of there, takes a stick in the face. That's going to be called, as Stoffel will go off for high sticking and or slashing. It's hard to get away with that one as you're standing right next to the referee.
No, and there we see Sands. You know, because of the way she's playing right now, she's making things happen. She does a nice job of not panicking, not getting rid of the ball, makes a good move on the Swiss defender, causes her to use her stick in an inappropriate manner, and there they got a penalty. So now we're going to the power play. Team Canada up 4-0. 10:46 left in the second period. 13-1 in shots favoring Team Canada.
Great face-off by Desforges for Brittany Smith. Bryan with a nice job to get the line and open up the zone. Brittany Smith over here for Fanny Desforges. Fanny Desforges walks, shoots, and that's tipped wide. And as we talked about with Fanny, I couldn't see her number, but I got it off her shoes there. A nice play to tap that back there to the point by Blomberg, who's been very effective. Blomberg, not flashy, Trevor, but very effective playing on this line.
No, she's been good, and we've seen her used in different situations. Certainly has the offensive flair, can do things on that side of the ball, but we've also seen her play very well defensively. And that's what you like to see in a player in this type of tournament, a player that can play it all, be very effective in all different situations.
And speaking of Blomberg, she fires that one. And Blazer has a hack at the legs of Fanny Desforges there. And the referee's getting in Desforges' face about it.
I don't think Blazer will be a part of Fanny's fans. Or was it?
Fanny's Fannies.
Fanny's Fannies,
That's
exactly.
Right.
So she won't be liking the Facebook page tonight after that slash. But that's what Team Canada has to do, though. They have to get in front of the net. They've got to cause some trouble for the Swiss goaltender. They had to try and make some things happen here on this power play. Because as we've talked about here, is that Team Canada is building towards something bigger. And they have to do little things right. This is a great chance to practice the power play and get those good habits happening all the time.
Out here for Smith, and a great read over there by Cherig. Cherig with a very good read, and that's something that the Swiss have done a lot better, Trevor, than, say, Greece or Great Britain. The Swiss, bigger, faster, know the game a little bit more, anticipating that play coming around the top.
Yeah, you can see that their hockey IQ is a little bit higher than those other countries you just mentioned, and because of that hockey IQ, they're getting themselves out of some trouble, making some good plays, and most importantly, getting sticks in passing lanes and taking away some opportunities for Team Canada.
Absolutely. Down low here is Team Canada. Out here for Moxley. Moxley sends it across for Smith. Smith, one times that, tipped by Desmier. Sent back out here. That might be Kane over on the far side. High stick by Cockrell. That'll be blown down.
And right now we're seeing in the last two shifts on this power play, Team Canada taking some liberties on the Swiss goaltender with a couple of slashes, looking for those rebounds. We mentioned it earlier that Team Swiss does have some good size. They can play with a little bit of aggression. So we'll see here in the next little bit, they start standing up a little bit more and clearing that front of the net with a little bit more intensity.
And you'll see us set their play here. They're dropping Blomberg back, Dawson with the rim, and now the winger is to go deep as the forward came up to block out the winger. And Desforges is robbed there by Blazer. But Fanny Desforges gets away. A great one-timer in the slot there.
But a good entry there, and I guess a couple of things can happen is that you try to throw off the Swiss defense a little bit by bringing that forward back. Two things you can happen. That puck goes deep like it was, that winger goes out wide, or you bring that ball back and that girl cuts out wide quickly, whereas the Swiss, as a defenseman, is actually your forward who will be flying over the blue line. So a nice job by the mixing up by the Team Canada coaching staff, mixing up that neutral zone face-off, throwing a bit of a different look at Team Switzerland.
Yeah, and something that we haven't quite seen. And here's Desforges again, and Fanny Desforges buries that one. Fanny Desforges from Jenny Bryan.
That's a great example there of Team Switzerland not being aggressive enough in front of their net. Blazer makes the first save. The ball is sitting there, can easily be cleared away, but not strong enough on their sticks, not strong enough to clear that player out. The ball lies there, and Desforges goes ahead and gets that big goal. So it's something that, certainly from Team Canada perspective, you like it. If you're a Team Switzerland coaching staff, not real happy with now with the effort your players showing that penalty kill.
Agreed. So it's Purcell, LaRock, Pouliot, Brittany Smith, Johnston, and MacArthur out there. MacArthur now. She turns it over. And amazingly, Trevor, Delaney Bryan has played 4 periods in this tournament and has still only faced 1 shot.
That's incredible, really.
So
we'll give a credit to Team Canada defense, but also the caliber of teams that we're facing here in the round robin and the first game of the playoffs. But that's going to change.
Yes.
We know that. And she has to make sure that she stays focused now and is moving well in her net and getting used to those angles. As the game goes on, she had to be ready for that.
MacArthur with the shot. That redirected to her 3 times. And we'll get the official call from the scorekeeper now in just a moment on who gets credit for that one.
There we see Team Canada's defense. They can shoot the ball. And we see that right there. And good things happen when you shoot the ball. We see it. Hit a couple of Team Canada players, maybe a Swiss player going in there. But shooting the ball is never a bad play. And we see the results right there on Team Canada's 6th goal.
Absolutely. And Team Switzerland's called a timeout. And while they're taking the timeout, we'll just have a quick read, see if we got any emails here, Trev. And no, we don't. We don't have any emails this game, so...
no emails so far.
Not
Okay.
the one.
Well, we do have a lot of fans here, Chris. I know we've had a lot of fans kind of watching online. We haven't had as many fans in the building, but certainly Team Canada is well represented here tonight with lots of red and white Maple Leafs being waved over across the way from us. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, lots of Switzerland flags there tonight. A very good contingent of Swiss, family, friends, and certainly it looks like some of the men's team here as well, supporting them here in the building. So maybe someone's listening on an iPhone or a BlackBerry. May get an email from those people watching us right now across the rink from us. But lots of support here for both teams this evening.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, not one message. Shot, and that's knocked away off the stick of Moxley. Desmere now. Alicia Desmere shoots. She scores! And you can see the reaction of her teammates. And we knew she'd eventually get off the schneid, Trev. Alicia Desmere now with a goal.
And you can see from her reaction a huge sense of relief. Just a huge weight lifted off her shoulders. So for her personally, that's a good feeling. But you can tell that her teammates are very happy for her as well. And that's the type of player that if she can ramp it up here and get hot, she becomes a very effective member of Team Canada. So good for her to get off the schneid, get that first goal, and start to build some of that confidence.
And now I guess the route is on, Trev. Canada now just pouring goals in. That's 4 here in the first 8 minutes of this period.
And they did exactly what they had to do. They stayed patient. They didn't panic because they weren't scoring often and early. They stayed with the game plan, started moving their feet a little bit more, and since that has happened, they're making some goals happen.
And a very nice play, Kane to Tulk there. And Kane, I think the coach just trying to find a spot for Kane because she's playing well. Hesitant to remove players, change the lines because really they haven't gotten against the competition he's designed these lines for. So it's tough. It's a tough spot if you're Amanda Kane right now as the extra forward out there.
But when you're playing well like that, you put the pressure on the coach to play you somewhere. And as a player, that's what you want to do. You may start off as that 13th, 14th forward, but if you're playing well, you're telling the coach, you can't sit me down because I'm playing too well.
That's right.
And that's what's happening now with a lot of these players. They're forcing the coach's hand, and they're having to find spots because of the way they're playing this game.
Yeah, and I think you could say the same thing about Madison Sands. As that goes off the back wall, and Brittany Smith will send that over to O'Grady. And Katie Passfield has now come into the game halfway through the second. Here's Dawson. Dawson will send that in for Bryan. Bryan has DeForge out front. She walks on that. And a nice save down there in the Swiss goal.
Now on Blazier, she's certainly been tested here. You know, at the beginning of the game, Team Canada getting a lot of shots from the outside, but here in the last period and a half, they're getting a lot more shots in close, and that was a rocket. But Blazier does a nice job of getting up to the top of that crease, staying square to the ball, and covering that so make sure there's no rebounds.
Blomberg, she's thrown into the boards there. Haven't seen many penalty calls tonight, Trevor.
No, they're letting them play, and as we've discussed throughout the week, that as long as the players stay within the rules, the referees have done a nice job of letting them play. Once they cross that line and an injury could happen, they're making the right calls.
Absolutely, and here's Psalm. That's hammered back in. And away comes Team Canada again. That's Bryan. Bryan, backhand, forehand, a nice save there as the two-pad stack is enabled. MacArthur gets a bear hug there. No call. And Wraiths will go for the change. Blomberg sends it on net, and that's out of the reach of Purcell. Back here for Johnston. Pouliot digging in there. Pouliot with a backhand play. I'm sure the coaching staff not going to want to see those backhand tosses out front, as we've seen a few of them. The problem is when they start connecting and becoming a bad habit.
Oh, that's right, and it happened. You know, against teams Switzerland, Greece, Czech Republic, those passes will work sometimes. But against your better teams, the teams that collapse down low, take away the front of the net, those won't happen. It'll be turnovers. It will cause you to run back 200 feet. So you need to bear down. Make sure they remove the bad habits from the game. Keep the good habits going all the time.
Back on that now is MacArthur. Chipped ahead for Purcell. Pouliot now on a 2-on-1 with Larocque. Sands coming in late. Pouliot shoots, and that's saved as Larocque and Steiner go crashing to the ground. Steiner is in a bit of discomfort down there.
Yeah, Vanessa Steiner, one of the Team Canada forwards. I didn't see who it was, but they went down to the boards pretty hard. And Steiner seems to be okay, getting some assistance from some of her teammates.
She's choking on something, actually, Trevor.
Yeah, I think it might be winded and just trying to maybe get her hands above her head maybe and just to get some air in maybe. But, yeah, she went down pretty hard, hit that floor very aggressively, I guess.
Yeah.
So she seems to be okay, though. Just more of a winded situation than anything else. I was going to say before the injury happened, though, it's nice to see the compete level from Team Switzerland. They have not given up. They're continuing to work hard. You can see, though, fatigue starting to set in. That was a very tough first period. They ran the floor a lot. They really pressured Team Canada. And you can see the fatigue starting to set in here. But the compete level is still there. They're still working hard. They're still trying to make things happen. So, you know, even though the score is 7-0 right now, Team Switzerland is competing, and that's all you can ask of their team.
Yeah, and that's something I've never seen before, Trevor. If somebody had their wind knocked out, for someone to do the Heimlich on them.
Yeah, I've never seen it before. I thought at first she was trying to get her arms over her head a little bit to try and get some air into her lungs. But
I don't know.
Maybe she was trying to do the Heimlich. I don't know.
That's what it looked like.
And you wonder, too, because they're wearing mouth guards.
Yeah.
Choking could certainly happen.
That's
yeah.
where my mind went on that. And anyway, I guess she's okay. I don't know. It was a bit odd. Cockrell on the draw. Back here for Smith. In for Moxley. Moxley out there with the Moxley crew. And that's chipped ahead. And away comes Stoffel. Stoffel met there by Brittany Smith. Passfield is tripped up in the goal. Stoffel tries to get a shot away. And Danica Smith chips that out for Cockrell. And that's tipped away by Brittany Smith. Canada hits the line and sends that deep for a change.
You know, and we've seen Team Canada face a little bit of adversity.
Yeah.
You know, in the first period of this game, a little bit of adversity in the Czech Republic game, and that's good to see. You know, you don't want to see your team have too much adversity, but it's good to have a little bit of that because that will help prepare you for those bigger games. Whereas if you go through and you're winning 10, 11, 12, nothing without any adversity, it's going to be tough to win that big game at the end of the tournament. So it's good that they have had to work hard. They've had to change their systems a little bit, try some different things to make that work.
And Trevor, Amy Dawson sneaking in off the point, scores that one. And again, look who's on the ice. Don Tull, Kristen Coos, Francesca Perron with them on this shift. But these guys are making a lot of offense for this team.
It seems like every time you turn around, Coos and Tulk are on the plus side of things. And you've got to like that from a Team Canada perspective. But playing here in Newfoundland and Labrador and having this type of tournament in their home province is phenomenal for them personally. But it's also great for the game of ball hockey in this province. Seeing these young stars playing so well, being such contributing members of Team Canada.
Tulk for Coos. That's knocked away there nicely by number 25 for the Swiss team, Emily Giacot. Coos slowly to the line. Nice move there around Reeve. Coos in the corner. Slowly. Coos out front for Tulk. Shoots. Nice save there by Blazer as Don Tulk could add it to her tally a little bit more. And Coos as well has a lot of points here this week.
I've just been impressed with the way Coos has handled the ball on the outside. She does not rush things. She takes her time. She's very patient and looks for the good play. And she certainly isn't tall in stature, but she is strong on that ball. And she has made things happen. She's been able to feed Tulk a few times, feed Perron, feed Kane, all of her line mates. And it's her work on the outside with the ball and good stick skills that's allowed a lot of these Team Canada goals to happen.
Blomberg sends that on net. The rebound off Desforges covered by Blazer. And now we're seeing the shot discrepancy creep up, Trevor, as Switzerland got one early, haven't got one since.
No, and I believe that Team Canada was challenged in their first intermission by their coaching staff to pick up their game offensively, but as well defensively. Take away the neutral zone, do not give them any chances, and we've seen Team Canada play a much better second period on both sides of the ball.
Desforges lets that shot go. Blomberg on the rebound. Can't connect. Desforges looking for Blomberg. Desforges again, she scores. Fanny Desforges is having herself a game.
Fanny Desforges has been solid throughout the event. She is playing well here tonight. She is the type of player that you can tell thrives on a little bit of pressure, thrives on getting to that next level, thrives on playoff hockey. And she is playing a great game tonight, offensively and defensively, being very solid in Team Canada Black.
So it's 9-0 now. Team Canada leads. 1 minute, 4 seconds remaining in the second period. Sands over here for Smith. For Larocque. That may have been offside, and yes, it was.
And, you know, it's after such a great start by Team Switzerland, we knew it was only a matter of time before Team Canada poured it on. But you've got to feel a bit right now for the Swiss team because they had such a good first period. They did so many things right. Now it's just a matter of the conditioning of Team Canada, the speed of Team Canada taking over and really starting to lay the hammer down on Team Swiss.
Yeah, and we talked about the consistency of playing your game. It's fine for Switzerland to play that way for the first period, but that doesn't mean you can't do it in the second and third. So it speaks well to the preparation of the Swiss coaching staff, the Swiss team. Obviously know what they have to do, and now it becomes that's offside. It's obviously a consistency and an execution thing now more than a talent, skill, or knowledge or desire thing.
Absolutely, but this should show them that they can play at this level. You know, and certainly there's a discrepancy between the talent level, but they showed themselves in that first period that with some more experience, some more skill development, they can play at the World Championship level. And this is a great experience for them, a great learning experience, so that when they come back the next time, they have a better idea what to expect and have 2 more years under their belt to be that much better.
Absolutely, and as the host team in 2015. Reeve back on that. Cockrell loses her footing. 20 seconds to play in the period. O'Grady with the good read there. O'Grady on the ball. O'Grady almost loses that for Godin. Sends it in. Desmere will send it at the net with 6 seconds remaining. And we'll get a face-off.
No, and just an overall solid period by Team Canada. They really started to pour it on offensively, but they are still staying strong defensively. And they're not, so far overall, we haven't seen them develop a whole lot of bad habits, which is good. And now you're going into your third period of action. As we said last night, you want to make sure you keep rolling your lines, get every player into the action, and allow them all to develop that confidence as you move on into the semifinals.
As Brittany Smith's dry streak continues, as she fires that one over the net. Maybe wants to put a bit of tape on that blade, Trev.
But I think the key for Brittany Smith, Chris, is that she's playing so well defensively. Do not let your offensive struggles, creep into play. She's been very, very good.
Absolutely right, and Brittany Smith's not there to score goals for Team Canada. There's lots of other people there to do that, and she has been absolutely great defensively. She's been a great leader, and she's been good offensively too.
Oh, absolutely.
Just hasn't scored a goal.
No, she's created a lot from the back end as a defenseman by sneaking in and doing little things right. She has been very good on both sides of the ball. Nice to see her score a goal, for her own sake, but she has been great on both sides of the ball.
100%. Well, 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go here. And we will take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And I now believe that referee is absolutely professional, as she made sure we were ready to go, a la the NHL, before she dropped that ball.
She may have been talking to the penalty timekeeper, Chris, but hey, no, she was talking to us.
I feel
Absolutely,
like she was looking up here.
Absolutely, she was talking to us.
I feel like she was looking up here. All we're lacking is the big red light now.
You get a little summer on that head, bud, but I had the big red light.
They'll never drop the ball.
This is why we got a second here in the action. I want to say a special hello to some of my friends here from the Special Olympics, the Tigers floor hockey team from the Mount Pearl area. A great group of athletes we've had a chance to do some work with over the past couple of years through our connection with the Ice Caps. It's a great group of individuals, and they're here tonight. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them here, plus their coaches here watching the game tonight. So a quick hello to some of my friends from that team. I was just telling Chris off air there that we played a game of floor hockey against them last 2 weekends ago, and they're quite the impressive group of individuals playing floor hockey. They actually won a national championship a few years ago, and they beat our Ice Caps staff and friends by a score of 3-1. So again, a very nice group of kids, great people, and certainly great ambassadors for Special Olympics in the game of floor hockey.
And 3-1, Trev, they must have one hell of a goalie. And is that Brittany Smith?
That is Brittany
Hammering
Smith.
that one home. So it's a night of first all over the place here.
Oh, that's a good play there. Nice for Brittany Smith to be rewarded with that goal. As we were saying before the second intermission started, she's played very well in all ends of the rink. She's played great, but nice for her to get that goal wearing the Team Canada jersey. And when you have those moments, it just gives you that much more confidence. So good on her. I gotta say, this
song, this
song is unbelievable. But that linesman, she hustles. She's like a John D'Amico out there.
I'm pretty sure she is the International Street and Ball Hockey Federation referee-in-chief. If not, she's the tournament referee-in-chief.
Nah, she's doing a great job. I've been very impressed with the way she's calling these games, but I love the fact she hustles after every whistle, after every stoppage of play. She's always hustling, so that's awesome to see.
As an official, you would be one to appreciate that, Trevor. Ante Forge taps in another one. And just great ball movement by Team Canada, like across the crease, tap in. Just good ball control. Knowing where to be, knowing your line mates are, and they're just in a class of their own out here right now.
Absolutely. They're showing why they are one of the favorites in this tournament. They are moving the ball around. They're moving their feet. They're going to open spaces, and that is tough for any team to defend against, especially a team like Switzerland who just doesn't have that same skill level. Just they're moving their feet right now. They're moving the ball, and that is a tough, tough thing to defend against.
And back come the Swiss. Turn back there at the blue line. Sent in on pass field. And she'll stop that and won't get a chance to play it. 13:41 remains here in the third. 11-0 Canada.
That example right there of Switzerland going in and making that face-off happen, it'd be very easily right now for the Swiss to sit back, just play the game out, let it happen, but they're still hustling. You know, these two teams are a different class, but they are still hustling, they're still competing, and as a Swiss coach, you have to be pleased with the way they are reacting tonight, the way they're competing each and every shift against Team Canada.
Well, you know, we talk often this week about the differences in ice and ball hockey, Trevor. In ice hockey, you can, if you're down, oftentimes guys, you know, won't move their feet as fast. They can still get around. They can play out the string. You still got to run out here. There's no, you know, we're down, I'm not going to run. You still got to run up and down the floor. And, again, the conditioning, the desire of these athletes cannot be underestimated.
No, there's absolutely no hiding out here in ball hockey. And we've seen that from some of the men's games that we've done this week. We've seen it from the women's game. There is no hiding. If you can run, it's hard to play at this level. And that's what we're talking about, these high-performance athletes. They're so well-conditioned to play this game that it's a pleasure to watch them play each night. And even when we're seeing games like this, a little bit lopsided, you can still appreciate how good these athletes are and what, you know, their level of training and their level of competition. It's a pleasure to watch.
Well, for example, this Swiss team, they may not have the ball as much as they're still got to run as much as they do because they're up and down the floor, up and down the floor. If you're chasing all night, I mean, that's tough. And as a fat man, I'm just really impressed with this.
No, and it's a great point because it goes back to our the zone coverage they're using. They're using man on man, and if your player runs, you got to run with them.
Yeah.
You can't just let them go. And, while you might get some help from your other players and a bit of a switch, you still have to be moving all the time. And, that first period, while it was a bit more up and down, the second and third, there's been a lot of time spent in the Swiss zone. And Team Switzerland is still competing. They're still working. They're still using that man-to-man system. And they're still hustling.
Even hustling on and off on the changes. So hats off to Team Switzerland for making this a very professional effort here, even though they are outclassed on the floor.
And as a coach, and we've been into these situations before, that you're proud of your team for that level of compete.
Stoffel with a nice shot, and Pascal has to catch that and hang on. So it's a couple of shots in the last couple of minutes. Good on them, like we said, for continuing to compete.
When they're getting the chances, they are putting the ball in the net, and we haven't seen them cross the Team Canada blue line very often, but now they have in the last couple of minutes. They are getting some shots on goal. So that's good for Team Switzerland, but also good for the Team Canada goaltenders to see some action, to make some saves, get a feel for that ball, and make sure they're very comfortable with their angles.
Yeah, and we talked about it last night with Nathalie Girard, just how hard it is to stay sharp and what they have been doing in terms of, getting out, having some practice, having the players fire some balls at them as much as possible. But there's nothing like game action.
No, and you heard Girard say last night in her interview as well that, as a goaltender, you want to feel like you're part of the team's win. Mm-hmm. And when you're standing there in the goal making one save or two saves in a game like this, maybe you don't feel that way. So by getting a few of these shots on goal, by moving the ball, maybe passing up to your forwards, it helps you feel like you're in the game. So that's something that, from a goaltender perspective, you want to gain some confidence as the tournament goes on. That happens by getting some shots.
Absolutely. And again, Stoffel for the Swiss. And she's had a very good game tonight, Stoffel.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's a good effort can get lost in a game like this, but she is a player who has played well. She's ran the floor well. She's gotten some shots on goal, has been aggressive and working hard right from the drop of the ball. So it's good to make sure that a player like that is recognized for her efforts in a lopsided score, but still coming to play each and every shift.
Trev, I should make the comment while we're here. You've seen maybe these Czech Republic jerseys hanging here in the broadcast booth. Well, this morning after the Czech Republic players came through, they stopped and as you know, they're storing their equipment up here near us, and we were surprised by Linda Hicksova. Excuse me, the Swiss almost had the first goal against Canada. Team Switzerland really putting it on. We were surprised by Linda Hicksova and captain Michaela Rulova, who we really liked the other night in terms of her attitude. The Swiss men's team, they stopped in, autographed a couple of their souvenir jerseys for us, and we really want to thank them if they are watching this one here tonight. Thank you to the Czech Republic girls.
I got to say, it's very cool when I come here in the evenings and do these games with you, Chris, but it's starting to get quite the collection of team paraphernalia. You got the Hong Kong hat, you have the Johnny Tulip Great Britain jersey. Yep. We've got the Czech Republic thing. So I think it's great that these teams have been such great ambassadors, for the tournament. They've certainly been appreciative of the efforts that you're making here, spending long days at the rink, calling these games, allowing people back in their home countries to watch it. And so it's great to see that. And they're certainly appreciative of it, and I'm sure everybody back home is too, for your efforts, and Taddy here with the work you guys are doing each and every day. So great job.
No, Teddy and I have gotten a lot of thanks, but the thanks, Teddy and I talked about it in between games tonight. The thanks really is going back from us to the players, because we've had countless number of people come through the booth here this week, and just the stories and the humanity that we're experiencing from all over the world is just, I tweeted it out today. I said, I'm absolutely floored by all the people I've been able to meet this week. And I'm honest when I say that. It's been such a humbling experience, such a rewarding experience. And if the International Street and Ball Hockey Federation doesn't bring me back for 2015, it's my plan to make it to Switzerland as a spectator, because I have now become one with this community, and all the people in this game I've met this week, and it numbers now probably in the hundreds, Trev, it's been fantastic.
No, absolutely. And we've got the chance to meet some of these players, and and obviously the interviews you've done, and the chance to talk to them, off the floor, in between games. There's so many great stories here, and you've touched on a few of the stories during the broadcast, but just knowing, some of the struggles that they've had to get here, whether it be financially or getting out of their country for transport or visa issue, whatever the case might be, there's some great human interest stories here this week. And while this is a sporting competition, this is all about another life experience for these players as well. You know, coming to a new country, coming to a new city, being a part of this, playing a world championship against these high performance athletes. Just a lot of great stories that are coming out of this event, and it's nice to see that through this broadcast you've been able to bring some of those stories, you know, to life. So, you know, good on you, good on Bella Lion to provide this opportunity and just get to know these athletes on and off the floor.
Yeah, and very good on Bella Lion. We can't thank them enough for the service they're providing here. Again, free and free to the viewer, which is unbelievable. And, you know, we don't mind putting the work in here because we know how many people have been appreciating and you know, thanking us for what we're doing, and we're more than happy to do it. You know, you wouldn't have to ask me twice to be here. That's loose in the crease, and I'm not sure if that's Purcell, I think, taps that one in.
Yeah, tough break for Team Switzerland there. The ball was under the goalie's pad and just kind of snuck out there onto a waiting Team Canada player who was able to bang it home. So tough break for Team Switzerland, but a good break for Team Canada to be there. Johnny on the spot to bang that one home. Certainly it's not a goal that was needed, you know, with a 12-0 score right now, but once again we're seeing them continue to do things right. And you want to be on top of the crease. You want to be crashing the net and continue those good habits.
And I feel like Switzerland may hit one before this is out. They've had a lot of good chances here in the third, and good for them for keeping going. And maybe, you know, they can kind of taste it a little bit and say, hey, let's be the first one to put one behind the Canadian keeper in this tournament in their fourth game.
That's right. And these teams that are playing against Team Canada, playing against Team Slovakia, those strong teams, they're setting small goals for themselves. And, you know, perhaps one of the goals tonight was to get 10 shots on net. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was to get that first goal against Team Canada. Whatever it might have been, Team Switzerland is working hard, and certainly scoring a goal here right now would be huge for their program.
And that went in.
Yeah, I thought it might have hit the bottom of the crossbar, but no, the referee signaled that it was a goal. Just a great, quick shot there. That was in and out pretty quick, and that shows how hard that shot was.
Yeah, and that
was Jessica O'Grady, I believe, scoring that goal.
Also O'Grady in on the rush there.
Yeah, O'Grady came in there, and she just made a great, quick snapshot that had some velocity, had some speed to it, hit the inside of the net, and came out quickly. So just a great shot by the Team Canada defenseman.
I saw the 7 on the sleeve, the left-handed shot on Tulk's line on the ice, so I just assumed Perron. But you're right, O'Grady had snuck in and buried that one. So the defense chipping in here for Team Canada tonight. And I'm sure that the parents of the defensemen, whether here in attendance or watching at home, are happy to see Brittany get a goal, to see Jessica get a goal. And I'm pretty sure Leslie MacArthur also has one tonight. So, and Dawson also has one tonight. So, you know, great for the defensemen.
No, you know, it's great for them personally to have these goals, but from a Team Canada coaching staff, you're feeling good as well, that you're getting contributions offensively from all your players. Your forwards are contributing. Your defensemen are contributing. The goalies are making the saves when they had to make the saves. So things are starting to click right now for Team Canada. They're looking strong and certainly building towards that semifinal game tomorrow night against Team USA.
And to get back about talking about the teams having goals and you're coming in, you're playing Canada, you weren't in the booth while we interviewed Adele King after the last game. But in talking to Adele, we asked her, you know, how do you prepare now to play Team Canada tomorrow night in the semifinal? And she looked at the camera and she said, hey, we're in Canada. Everyone here eats, sleeps, breathes Canada, breathes hockey. This is where it all starts. It doesn't take much to get motivated.
No, and that's the thing. No matter what sport, it could be hockey, baseball, tiddlywinks. It doesn't matter. A Team Canada, Team USA game is always intense. Always something cool happens in a game with those two teams playing. So it doesn't matter how the scores have been throughout the event. You know that Team USA will come ready to play tomorrow night. You know that Team Canada will come ready to play tomorrow night, which should set off some fireworks, make this a great game.
Fanny DeForge with another beautiful effort.
No, and Team Canada, you know, we had this conversation the first night when they played Great Britain that, you know, it's tough on Team Canada. They don't want to run the score up right now, but they have to play the game. They have to do things right. They have to keep playing hard because this is a world championship and they're striving towards something bigger. That being said, after the goals, they're not celebrating. They're not, you know, woo-hooing and everything else. They're scoring the goal, getting back to center floor, getting ready for that next face-off. So I like the way that Team Canada has handled themselves on the floor in these games. They're being very sportsmanlike. They're playing the game the right way and certainly not trying to embarrass their opponent in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about, we don't need to rehash that conversation, but, you got to keep playing the game. And Trev, I guess now you look forward to tomorrow night, and we've got two massive international hockey rivalries back-to-back here. We've got the Czech Republic and Slovakia, which I'm sure when broadcast back home is going to attract thousands of viewers. I'm sure the Canadian-USA matchup is going to do the same thing. So, I mean, as a hockey fan, what else could you ask for here in the Mount Pro Glacier tomorrow night for $5? For $5, you can see all that.
I'm excited, and I was thinking about it today, actually. I get excited to watch playoff hockey, and no matter who's playing, but knowing the teams that are playing tomorrow night, if you're in this area, you need to be here tomorrow night to support this team. They are playing well. They are true ambassadors. It's going to be a great hockey game tomorrow night. Regardless of regardless of the scores or anything else, these athletes are going to compete. So if you're in the area, I encourage you to come out and watch this high level of ball hockey because it's been great. And if you're online watching, make sure you make plans in your schedule to tune in and watch these games because they're going to be great hockey games. They're going to be another chapter in the rivalry of these great hockey countries. So it should be a lot of fun tomorrow night to call those games.
And we had, actually, Trevor, I maybe you're not aware, we had Joseph Stumple up here for an interview today. And Joseph Stumple, of course, former Boston Bruin, Los Angeles King, Florida Panther, played lots of years in European elite leagues. And very, very nice man, and I was very pleased to be able to meet him. And we talked about that as well, and the rivalry, the Czechs and the Slovaks, and just everything that's gone on there over the past 20, 30 years with their two countries. And, it's like we talked about before, sometimes there's more than hockey at stake here. There's national pride.
Absolutely, and we've seen over the years in world championships, whether it be junior, men's, women's, whatever it is, there's always, it's sport, but it becomes more than sport because there's that cultural issue, and there's been the history between those countries and everything else. It'll be a lot of fun to watch that tomorrow night because those players are going to come to play. And as I mentioned a moment ago, it doesn't matter what the scores have been during the tournament, playoffs, semifinals, brand new game. The players have had a chance now to have a good 24 hours of rest before they play tomorrow night. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch from a hockey perspective, but also, too, from that cultural side of things as well, to see how those two teams compete against each other.
And we talked to Lucy Pavova of the Czech Republic after the game this morning. Lucy, a very sweet girl, and she was in here, and we had a good chat, a good interview. And in talking to Lucy, she said, yeah, we're from different countries, but it's like over here. They play professional women's ice hockey over there, a lot of these girls. A lot of them maybe play on the same club teams, maybe in the different club teams in the same league. They all know each other very, very well. And the intensity, the rivalry, everything about that game tomorrow night, the underdog Czechs as the Slovaks are the defending champions, that game has me really, really excited. Then Team Canada taking on Adele King, who has just been lights out here in this tournament. Player of the game continuously for her team. The host committee has to stop giving it to her because she's won so many. What's she going to do with all those Adidas bags, Trevor? There's Stovall. Stovall as Passfield misses it, and that's in the net. And how fitting that Andrea Stovall is the first person to score on Team Canada, as Andrea Stovall has been the best Swiss player. And look at this moment, Tatey, you're getting it on camera. That just made their entire trip to Canada. They scored the first goal. The Czechs couldn't do it. The Greeks couldn't do it. The Brits couldn't do it. And look at the smiles on the faces of those Swiss girls. You got to feel for Katie Passfield, as she didn't need to come out there. She certainly didn't want to miss that. But let's talk more about this Swiss. Andrea Stoffel, who's been the best Swiss player here tonight, had a good tournament, had a great game. She scores the goal. This is going to be huge.
That is a big goal, and you know something? They deserve to score a goal here tonight. The way they played that first period, the way they've competed, good on them to score that goal. And certainly it wasn't a pretty goal.
No.
It wasn't going to be a highlight reel goal tonight on any other of the sport channels. But you know what? It's a goal. They worked hard. And when you work hard, you get some of those breaks sometimes. From Katie Passfield's standpoint, she did come out of the net. Didn't seem to be really set for it. The way she had her stick, handling her stick was almost like it was upside down or something.
Yeah.
But that's something now that, she needs to rebound from that quickly. Forget about that goal. But, good job on the Swiss to be able to come. We'll keep working hard. They deserve that goal, so good on them.
Absolutely. And now Canada back on the attack. But I feel really good for this Swiss team because, like you alluded to, they've worked hard and they deserve to get something for that.
Right. And, it's not a major case of adversity right now.
No.
But that's the first goal Team Canada has scored against them. The goaltender made a mistake. So how do they respond to that now? I'm sure they'll be fine because it's still like a 13-goal lead. But you know what? They need little things like that to happen to make sure they are staying focused.
Look out. Rates goes to the net. Janchik is taken down. That's probably going to call that. Fanny Desforges for Team Canada. Oh, that was in the net. That was in the net and waved off.
Dancing Fanny was it fifth of the game?
I don't know.
But that was hit the back of the net and came back out.
Yep.
Referee was right there to wave it off. But from our vantage point,
we thought it was
a good goal.
Absolutely. Fanny must have been drinking some of that Red Bull she won before the game. Holy moly. She is flying out there.
And you got those orange shoes, the flames coming off those things.
And the Swiss men's team getting into it up there now. And good for them. Really rewarding their female team. And I think they're saying, go Switzerland, but I don't speak that. I hear Swiss.
As a Swiss translator, I will agree with you.
Yes.
And they're saying, go Swiss. That is correct.
Trevor actually works at the Swiss embassy here in Newfoundland. That's a complete fabrication, folks. I don't want people to actually think that.
No, as far as I know, there is no Swiss embassy in Newfoundland.
Is there any embassies in Newfoundland?
No, I believe most of them are in Ottawa, Chris. For those people who are listening overseas, most of our embassies are in Ottawa. And that's just a little cultural lesson for Chris tonight as well.
I've never had the need to go to another country's embassy in my own country, so.
Is there a bar on George Street called the Embassy?
There should be.
It's a great name for one,
That
actually.
would be actually.
You're welcome.
Marketing idea, copyrighted. We're calling the patents office right now to anyone who's listening.
We're going to trademark that one tonight before midnight. The Embassy on George.
All it's got to be is postmarked and in the mail first, right? Is that the rule?
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Here's Cockrell. And Moxley dances in there. Candace Moxley. 1:45 remains. Canada leads 14-1. Desmier backhands that wide. That's over here for Brittany Smith. Brittany Smith sends that back for O'Grady. O'Grady, very good ball handler, Trevor.
Oh, outstanding.
Oh, look at that.
She handled that ball. Should be two Swiss defenders, got it into the zone. Wow, what a demonstration of ball handling right there by O'Grady.
Not the first time we've seen that from her either. Just under a minute, 59.7 seconds to play here.
No, and there certainly are a number of strong ball handlers on Team Canada. They have such poise. They do a great job. They are doing a nice job protecting the ball, doing the right things.
Off the draw, here comes Team Switzerland. They're turned back at the blue line. Oh, nice play by Pouliot to Larocque. Oh, nice save, rebound. Scores. But Blazer makes a great first save on the rock there.
Exactly. The first save is made. The rebound is there. Unfortunately, the Swiss defenders could not get back to make that or to clear that rebound. But what a great little touch pass at the blue line. And we've talked about Larocque's speed. She is just so explosive. When that opening is there, she just takes the ball to the net, and we've seen that throughout the tournament. Just her speed is a very impressive feature of her game, and we see it once again on display here as Canada scores number 15 on the evening.
Absolutely, and Pouliot does a good job to follow up the play, Trevor, after making that touch pass to get rewarded with the goal.
And I just love seeing plays like that, just highly skilled plays. There's a pass, a little touch pass, going to the open spaces. That is a lot of fun to watch. I know the fans certainly appreciate that effort.
Absolutely. 20 seconds to play here until Team Canada sews this one up to move on to the semis. That's knocked out and down the floor, and that'll do it, Trevor. Oh. Team Canada now move on to the semifinals with a 15-1 victory over Team Switzerland.
And certainly, Chris, the score was lopsided. Team Canada was certainly the dominant team, but it was an entertaining game to watch. I like the fact that Switzerland competed so hard in that first period. They continued to work hard throughout the game. Just outmatched because of the skill and the speed and the ball possession time of Team Canada. But just a fun game to watch. And, if you're Swiss right now, you're pretty happy that you're the first team to score against Team Canada. You had to be proud of your effort in that first period and the way you played. So lots of positive take from this game from Team Switzerland. From a Team Canada perspective, you had to be pleased with the way things are clicking for you right now. You're getting offensive input from your forwards, from your defense. Your goalies are making key saves in close when they have to. So things are clicking right now, but they had to get prepared. They had to get refocused right now for Team USA tomorrow night. Semifinal, you win, you move on. You lose, you're playing for a bronze. So they had to get refocused this evening, get a good rest, get a good meal, get ready to play that big game tomorrow night.
Yeah, you got to like 4 games, 46 goals for, 1 against. So that's very impressive.
Absolutely, and they've deserved those goals. There hasn't been really a cheap goal or a dirty
they've
goal.
Worked hard.
They've worked hard. They've made a lot of nice plays, and they've made a lot of good things happen.
And Stoffel, so the viewers do know, picks for player of the game long before she gets credit for that goal. She was absolutely lights out tonight. The goal, her reward.
You know something? Whoever's picking the player of the game here throughout the week has been pretty well right on with every game. There hasn't really been many mistakes. They've picked the right players. They picked players that have not necessarily scoring goals all the time, but they're hard-working players who are bringing a special energy to the game each night. So good job to the awards committee for the work they're doing.
Yes, and we'll pass that along. So Dave Forge picks up player of the game for Team Canada. And they're quick on the trigger with the anthem, so...
And there you have it, folks, the customary playing of the national anthem at the conclusion of any win by a team. Just to do a quick rundown here of this evening's action. So the final score, 15-1 in favor of Team Canada. Team Canada outshoots Team Switzerland by a score of 34-8. So certainly, as we talked about, Chris, very lopsided in terms of score and shots. But you've got to like the effort that Team Switzerland put in tonight, and you've got to like the way that Team Canada is entering their semifinal game tomorrow night against Team USA.
Well, they're certainly flying high, Trevor, and I think it'll be a good matchup tomorrow night with the American defense and goaltending against the high-flying Canadian forwards.
Yeah, and I really like the chemistry we're seeing from Team Canada. You know, we've talked about it. Some of these girls know each other. Some of these girls are brand new to each other this week at this event. But at the end of each game, the arms wrapped around each other, you can tell that they're getting stronger as a team each and every game. And as a coaching staff, you had to be excited about seeing that. From a player's perspective, you got to like the feeling that you're trusting your teammates even more. You got to feel good about what you're showing right now each and every game. So I like what we're seeing from Team Canada. I'm excited to see their effort tomorrow night against Team USA.
Absolutely, and both teams showing support to their supporters. All right, and the Swiss are having a great time. And now Team Canada do their thing. Okay, so we'll be right back with the post-game show. Haven't been informed as to who we are going to interview tonight, but we'll certainly have a post-game show here for you in just a couple of moments, so stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, folks, we are back here at the post-game show, joined by Switzerland defender Celine Apatello. And Celine, obviously a tough game, but how exciting was it to be the first team to score a goal against Canada?
Okay, before the game I didn't know that Canada don't receive one goal. And after we heard from the coach that we were the first team, it will cool, but after 15 hours, yes, it's cool, but it's not so.
Not so good.
Yeah.
I think, and we talked about it up here, you guys started the game very, very good and played well in the first period. It just seemed that in the second and third, it kind of fell away. But the way you started, is that encouraging to you guys?
How is the first?
The way you started playing very well early in the game, is that a positive
Yes,
for you guys?
it's very positive for us.
Yes.
We play against Slovakia exactly the same. The beginning of the game was great, but after it's going too fast for us.
Yeah.
But we are happy that we can make a goal. We are happy that it was not too easy for Canadian. Even they make 15 goals.
Well, we think you guys were the team that challenged them the most physically. You guys were very physical with them and very good positionally in your own zone. You guys will be the host team in 2015. What are you learning here this week that you can bring to that tournament?
We have to learn to go faster, I think. Yes, and better position in the defense zone for us, because we are fast when we have to go,
Yep.
but when we have to be with our player,
Yes.
we are always too late, and
Right.
it was only goal like this.
Right, absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
the woman was alone.
So we'll let you get going, but there's a lot of people watching at home. Is there anyone you want to say hello to?
Yes, I want to say hello to Switzerland if somebody watched the game, and sorry because we don't win a game, but we give everything that we can give.
Well, tomorrow you guys will play Greece, and
Yes.
that will be a good test. Two more even teams.
Yes, I see the Greece play good too.
Yes.
It will be a great game, I think, like Italy or USA that we play before,
Yeah.
and I think we can make something. I
think-
hope.
I think you can too. You guys have been great. So thank you very much for
Thank you
joining
too.
us, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. So as promised, again, back here with Canadian co-captain, I guess you guys are, hey? Yes. Shelley Cockrell. Shelley, another big win tonight. Let's talk about the beginning of the game, where they did make it a little difficult on you guys. What did they do well to keep it close in the first?
They played positionally well. They kept us out from the front of the net and played the body really well and really forced the play outside, kept everything on the outside.
And what did you guys talk about in the first intermission in order to make some adjustments? We noticed a few different things up here in the booth, but what did you guys talk about? Because I think there was 6-7 goals scored then in the second.
Just cycling a bit more, moving the ball a little bit faster, and just keep talking out there, because once we stopped and got pinned, there's nothing there, so just keep the ball moving really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And we noticed that up here too. And in the beginning of the game, you guys were kind of standing still, moving the ball around. When the team started to move its feet, that's when things really opened up. So kudos to you guys for that. So tomorrow night, big game against the USA. Always a big game when Canada plays the USA.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about them, and what do you look for going into tomorrow night's game?
You know, we don't know a lot. Every day we just kind of focus on our opponent at hand, so I'm sure we'll talk about the U.S. tonight or tomorrow and just go from there.
Great. So, Shelley, a little bit about yourself for anyone who's watching. a little bit about your background. Have you played ice hockey? Have you always been a ball hockey player? Where are you from? What should people know about you who are watching the tournament?
Well, I'm actually from a small town in Roblin, Manitoba. That's where I grew up, and I started playing ice hockey when I was a young little girl playing with the boys, and then I kind of quit for a little bit, went to university, played some volleyball, and then I got back into hockey.
And the lights have gone out at the Glacier, folks, so don't worry, we're okay.
Yeah, and then I started playing ball hockey about, I guess, 10 years ago.
Okay. And so you were at the last Worlds with the team.
Yes, it was.
Disappointing loss in the final to Slovakia. So without looking too far ahead, should you guys get to that game, I guess, Sunday, what's the motivation? What's the thought? Because that's what you're here to do, is to get to that game. And it's been 2 years in the making. So, what happens on Sunday should you guys get there? What happens then? Like, how does that play out?
Well, I just think the motivation, us losing last time is motivation enough to, work our butts off and get the job done. We feel like they stole the goal from us. We thought it was ours, and they played well and took it from us, so we want to take it back.
Return the favor kind of thing.
Yes.
Well, you guys have looked great. You know what? The Slovaks have looked really good too. If I was putting money on it, I'd say you two teams in the final. Both of you have huge rivalry games tomorrow night to get there, so it should be exciting. Shelly, we'll let you get going, cool down with the girls. Anyone you want to say hi to that's watching at home?
I just want to say hi to my girlfriend, Krista, and my mom and dad, and my brother and sister, Sean and Sheila.
Awesome, Shelly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck tomorrow. Of course, we'll be rooting for you as the home team. And you guys have been great so far. Let's keep it going.
Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, they turned the lights off on us here on the Glacier mid-interview. Sorry about that. But, again, we're signing off for tonight. That's it. Join us tomorrow where we have a couple of placement games for the girls who lost today in the quarterfinals. We have a couple more Pool B games that have huge playoff implications. And, of course, tomorrow night, the big games, Czech Republic and Slovakia, Canada and the U.S. It's going to be exciting. On behalf of myself, the best color man in the biz, Trevor Murphy, the best cameraman in the Western Hemisphere, Teddy O'Rourke, thank you very much. We will see you guys tomorrow. Arrivederci.